23-year-old Sajida is worried about raising 6 children by herself. Her husband was killed by right-wing vigilante groups last year. He was abducted from India's western state of Rajasthan on suspicion of being a cow smuggler. Many such attacks have become increasingly common under the BJP's governance. Vigilante groups, often linked to it, or local right-wing groups, are accused of attacking and killing cattle traders, who are mostly Muslims, and Dalits, once known as untouchables. Hindus, who make up a majority of India's 1.4 billion population, consider the cow holy.
Bajrang Dal people killed him after they abducted him. They first took him to Firozpur, but when the cops at the police station didn't arrest him, vigilantes took him elsewhere.
Harinder Singh, a pastor, lives in fear in the northern Uttar Pradesh. India's most populous state is governed by the BJP. Harinder says his family was attacked by a right-wing Hindu crowd last year. He's out on bail after being held under the state's anti-conversion law passed in 2020.
They allege that I was luring people to convert to Christianity. It's not true. I'm against forced conversions.
In southern Karnataka, the BJP government banned headscarves in schools and colleges. The move led to a national debate and a legal case. In other states, homes and businesses have been bulldozed and places of worship set on fire. Experts say the BJP's Hindu nationalistic ideology has led to deep divisions.
The majority psyche is to be satiated by continuously trying to suggest that BJP is a only political formation which can put the rogue minorities into place.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government has been accused of pushing through discriminatory policies. But Modi insists his party works for the benefit of everyone.
We believe in providing free grains, free medical treatment, good housing, subsidised gas cylinders and water. We provide all that to everyone without any discrimination.
Human rights organizations have warned of increased abuses against minorities in India. Others blame the BJP's Hindu nationalistic ideology.
India risks becoming one of the world's main generators of instability, atrocities, and violence because of the massive scale and gravity of the violations and abuses targeting, not exclusively, but mainly religious and other minorities.
As its 6-week-long general election comes to an end, many voters hope the next government focuses more on development and creating jobs. Felix, Nyawara, Al Jazeera.
Well, for more on this, we're joined now by Shravasti Dasgupta, who is a journalist with the Wire News website. She joins us live from New Delhi. Thanks very much for being with us here on Al Jazeera. Now, as we mentioned earlier, Al Jazeera wasn't granted visas to cover this election. So can you just give us an idea of what it is like there in regards to the concerns non-Hindu minorities have right now when it comes to this election?
Well, that's right. We have seen in the past few weeks, after the second phase of the election is being conducted in 7 phases, and after the second phase got over, we saw the communal narrative by the Prime Minister himself really taking a high-pitched tone. He started accusing the country's main opposition party, the Congress Party, of attempting to snatch away women's gold jewelry and giving it to Muslims. He then went on to accuse the main opposition party, the Congress, of trying to take away the rights of the backward castes and communities in the country and giving it to Muslims. All this was based on his interpretations of the Congress Party's manifesto. Now, let me just state here that the Congress Party's manifesto does not state anything like this. In fact, it does not explicitly mention Muslims at all. It just talks about backward communities. But Modi has continuously pitched that again and again, and that has been followed by other leaders of his party, top leaders of his party, and this has not seen any action by the poll body in India, which is the Election Commission of India.
Yeah.
In fact, today the Election Commission of India, after 7 phases of polling, is over. Today, after 5 phases, I beg your pardon, is over. Today, the Election Commission of India has issued notices to both the Congress and the BJP and asked them to refrain from using communal narratives in their poll speeches. But the fact is that 5 phases of elections are already over. And amidst that, we've also seen reports of suppression of Muslim voters that has come in from Uttar Pradesh, which is the most populous state in the country, which sends about 80 seats out of the 543 seats in India's parliament. We've seen reports from this place called Sambhal in Uttar Pradesh, where Muslims were baton charged by police, and electoral officers did not allow them to vote, and their ID cards were snatched. All these videos are available on social media. Later, first election officials went ahead, after this was widely reported in the news, they went ahead and said that no such suppression did take place, but we have those videos and images and testimonies on record.
I just want to jump in there and ask, how big of an issue is this, though, for voters? Is this going to sway anyone in who they will end up voting for, do you think?
I would say that Prime Minister Modi enjoys a very loyal voter base amongst the Hindus, which constitutes about 80% of India's population. That is not to say that the Muslims, which is the largest minority, do not support him. We do have sections of Muslims who also support him. So it would be safe to say that his popularity is immense, and his popularity has not suffered a dent in this communal rhetoric, because we have to remember that this has been his politics for many years. It's nothing new that he's brought into the campaign ground. It is what is new is the fact that after he made these statements in subsequent television interviews to friendly media channels, he said that he has never made such comments, and the day he starts talking about Hindus versus Muslims, he will retire from public life. But the very next day, he went and addressed another public rally where he once again brought about Hindus versus Muslims. So it's a very it's a game of majoritarian politics, which he knows works for him, which he knows he has a very loyal and popular voter base, and therefore he's appealing to that base once again as questions are being raised about unemployment and inflation. In a sense, the BJP has gone back to its old playbook.
Okay, we'll have to leave it there, but we really do appreciate your insight into all of this. Thanks so much for joining us on Al Jazeera.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.